guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today, I'm going to talk about a subject I talk about quite often on this channel, but I'm going to give you a little piece of advice. We're going to talk about Rolex and why right now is the best time to potentially buy one. Of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. I am wearing my new to me Rolex Pepsi 16710. That is right, guys. I bought myself a Rolex today. Yesterday, and I'll explain myself. I'll explain why, and I'll explain why I think if you want a Rolex, you should buy one right now. And also, to fund this Rolex, I'm selling a few of my watches. So go check them out at delraywatch.com, a few watches from my personal collection. Link in the description below. So let me tell you how this got started, first of all. I like Rolex, but I'm not a Rolex fanboy. I like a lot of other brands as well. I own a Hulk and I own an old school sub. I've always loved the Pepsi. I've owned it a few times. I sold it. I started looking around. There are 3 Rolexes I want to add in my collection eventually. I wanted to put a Pepsi back in there. I want a white Milgauss. And I want a pre-ceramic Sea Dweller. Not exactly sure which model I want for the Sea Dweller, but pre-ceramic. I started looking them up, and prices have been skyrocketing. And even as a dealer, I realized prices have been skyrocketing. Milgausses are selling in the $6,000 range, pre-owned, for the non-colored crystal. Pepsis are selling at 10 or over. Sea Dwellers haven't really caught up yet. You can still get them around 6.5. But I noticed to myself, if I want to add these watches to my personal collection, I need to do it quickly, because I'm quickly getting priced out of the Rolex market. So, basically, when is a good time to buy Rolex? It's never a good time to wait. I say buy it right now. A few exceptions, of course. New models that were just released, like the Rolex Batgirl. Those have a high premium because they were just released, stuff like that. But discontinued models, Milgausses, pre-ceramic subs, older Daytonas, two-tone Explorers, stuff like that. Even ceramic subs, those prices are only going up. And I've preached on this channel a few times that it's a bubble, it's got nowhere to go but down, and I've admitted I've been wrong. I'm obviously wrong. So, maybe I am a little bit scared, and I jumped the gun and I bought a Pepsi because I don't want to spend $14,000, $15,000 for a Pepsi in 2 years. I'd rather spend, significantly under 10. Also, dealer pricing, I got it wholesale for myself. So I got a really good deal, but that price is only going up. And historically, as a watch dealer, I remember the first watch I sold at delraywatch.com 2 years ago was a Rolex Explorer 2 White. I sold it for $4,000. I'm now selling them in the mid-5s, and I'm still one of the cheapest out there. Hell, I pay significantly more than $4,000 wholesale when people, try and sell them to me. So as you can see, the prices are skyrocketing. So I figured it's a great time to add a Pepsi. I think this is the one out of the 3 that is rising in value the quickest, so I had to snag it for the premium hits. And I think the Milgauss is going to be next, once again, because those are shooting up in value quickly. So yes, I am a Rolex fan, but my collection isn't going Rolex only. It's just if I want the opportunity to own these 3 watches, it makes much more financial sense to do it sooner rather than later. And actually, that being said, to fund this, I am selling 3 watches for my personal collection. I figured I'd explain why as well, because a couple of them are a little bit controversial. Because I said I would never sell them. Unfortunately, I've also mentioned that I'm a very emotional buyer and seller, and even though I'm not known for selling my personal watches, I do make decisions on a whim, so my ideas change quite often. The first one I'm selling is my IWC Vintage Collection Engineer Laureus. Quite rare. I love this watch. I love the blue dial. I love the milestones it represents in my life. And I'm very emotionally attached to it. But the truth is, I've worn it 10 times in 2 years. And as much as I would love to keep it forever, I'm not made of money. And if I want my collection to evolve, and if I want to explore a few more watches and scratch my itch, I did have to let it go. Hopefully I can replace it one day. Obviously, I'll have to pay more than what I sold it for. I haven't sold it yet. It is on delraywatch.com, by the way. I'll probably have to pay more in a couple of years when I'm ready to replace it. But for right now, I don't wear it. And even though my emotions tell me to keep it and I love it, I can't justify something I don't wear. That is also why my Torno Triple Date Moon Phase made by Walden International is being sold. Now, Mr. Walden unfortunately passed away last year, so these watches have not been in production for a long time. They're actually quite rare, and one of the most beautifully decorated 7751 movements I've ever seen in my life. However, truth is, it's I just don't wear it often. You know why? I'm in Miami. I need to wear something with bracelets. My style has changed. When I bought that watch, I wore suits every day. Now, a plaid shirt is about as formal as it gets for me, and it just sits in the watch box. And as much as I'd love to keep it as an integral part of my collection, I can't justify it. And third, I'm selling a new addition to my collection, the Braille I just bought a few months ago. Beautiful watch, extremely well made for the price. I love to support a small independent watchmaker, but the truth is I already have 3 chronographs. And I can't justify it. I just don't see myself wearing it long term. So all those watches, if you guys are interested, are on delraywatch.com, but I wanted to give you the thinking behind me trying to move these pieces, because I know I've said a bunch of times these are keepers, and honestly, they are keepers, but I can't afford to maintain a huge watch collection. And if I want to buy these Rolexes, at least for right now, I'm going to have to move some pieces. And the beautiful thing is, when I get tired of the Rolexes and if I decide to sell them, I'm going to make a profit. So it's not, I didn't buy it purely from an investment standpoint. I genuinely love those 3 Rolex watches, the Pepsi, the Milgauss, and the Sea Dweller. Just one of the plus points is if I decide to move it, chances are they're going to appreciate. Guys, that's just my little explanation, my thinking behind selling part of my collection, or trying to sell part of my collection, and also my advice to anybody trying to buy certain Rolex models. Waiting does not pay. Prices are only going to go up, and if you can afford it right now, but you're just having a hard time justifying it, I'm telling you, buy today, buy tomorrow. The longer you wait, prices should keep climbing. Obviously not forever. I think there will be a dip eventually, but historically over the past 5 or 6 years, a dip has not happened. So buy ASAP. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my advice today and you enjoyed today's shorter little episode. If you want to see the watches I have for sale, go check them out on delraywatch.com. Link in the description below. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really does help. And don't forget to subscribe. Guys, thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.